Hey kids, here we are this week at Frozen Head State Park. I'm really happy because it's like as everything starts lifting a little bit and easing up as far as the quarantining goes, the state parks are starting to open, and this is the closest like real mountain park because there's backcountry campsites and front country campsites here. There's an interpretive trail here too, and there's lots of mixes of small trails and long trails from quarter of a mile to 7 miles one way. So lots of different options. I wanted to stop because this plaque here for the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, this was a really cool organization that Franklin Roosevelt started way back in the day to get people back into working because it was depression. There wasn't a lot of people working. So we figured, hey, what better way can we get young people to get out and learn about the land and create all these great trail systems in our national parks, state parks, and other areas. And these guys came out here and they would stay and they would build all these trails all over the place. And of course, what kind of hike would it be without a scavenger hunt? So here we are. This is an American hornbeam. This is one of my all-time favorite trees. It's called American hornbeam or a musclewood or an ironwood, depending how far south you go. So the free box, of course, right? And then live tree. Great, on our way. And we found another one on bingo. Big rock. Look at all the moss growing on here, this carpet moss. This was really important stuff for the Cherokee. They would tear off swaths of this stuff and they dry it out and wrap it around their babies' butts and use it for diapers. Here it is. Homer, come here, buddy. Well, here we are. We're looking at this spice bush right here. Cool. It's got these little flowers coming up. They're pretty. They would use these leaves, you know, in the winter time. If people were out hunting, there's not as many animals out. Some of them are hibernating. So in the mountains, they would shoot those animals like possums and stuff that were less desirable animals to eat. And if they didn't taste too good, they would stuff them with these spice bush. And it has a spicy kind of like cinnamony, nutmeggy kind of flavor. And they would stuff the animals with that and cook it. And it would add a lot of flavor to those meats that they were less desirable at that time. And look, I saw all these dead logs over here. That's definitely on our bingo. So let's go ahead and check that off. Come here, buddy. Thank you. See lots of mosses and stuff on these logs here. Moss will start going in there, breaking down the wood. Little lichens going on there. Isn't this neat? Never seen one of these CCC dynamite shacks. I'm imagining this is where they stored the dynamite. Because you know, when you're coming across and you're making trails out here, you know, you have trees in the way, but there's big rocks and stuff like that. So they would often use the rocks and blast them out because there's huge ones in the trail, and they wanted to make the trail come through an area where the grade is good for people to walk on. Look at the size of this rock. Like I said, the water, the streams have dragged those down, but all these cool stuff growing on it. It's like little tree saplings and some little shrubbery. And it looks like to me that, you know, these trees just dropping all these leaf stuff on there, eventually there's enough of it where it could be a pack, and then the seedlings get stuck in there, the seeds, and then the plants just start growing out of there. What a great place. And it's a nice open spot in the canopy where they're getting a good amount of sun. So they're doing really good there. Oh, you got to see this. This is awesome. Here, come on over here. You got these grasses, these high grasses, these bigger, thicker grasses, I mean. Look at these dwarf irises coming up. Isn't that awesome? So the grasses here, As the water starts coming down, as it seeps down, because most of our water is springs that pop up underground, and they just kind of flow under the dirt and the surface. These grasses slow down the water and allow these irises to pop up in between. Beautiful. Hey, Elmer, come here. Come here. This is definitely on our bingo. Thanks, buddy. Here, this flower. Wait. Wow, look at this great rock here, huh? And you can see the underpart where Elmer is, it's all dug out. Like I was saying, from water. And you can see the spring is coming right out of the ground right here. Obviously getting bigger as it goes. And the rock's covered with all kinds of lichens. And a lichen is a fungus and an algae, so a mushroom and an algae mixed up. And there's a really cool kind right here. It's a spray paint lichen. Look how bright it is. And it does look like spray paint that you'll see around the city or on the side of buildings like graffiti. Isn't that interesting? Look at this wild geranium. Beautiful, huh? So you come up a little bit in elevation and the whole scene changes. It's a flower anymore. I think in this particular area that's just a little bit more open, we get a little bit more sun here, and it's an obviously awesome area for water. There's all these streams coming down. These big boulders. You can see where the sediment, it's like this is an old ocean floor, right? And you can see where the sand is settled in the middle of the rock. See that rock band? Look at the texture is different. Smoosh, soft section of sand there. Smushed in between the harder section. Neat, huh? Elmer loves it. Walking along, we saw these big cracks here in the rock. Look, there's things growing anywhere that they can. That's what's great about the biodiversity out here. The moisture level we have, all this stuff plays together to just make a very interesting and intricate system out here. Ecosystem. Isn't that great? Moss is growing on the side of this. But I found another one for bingo. Look at this tiny little ornate fern. Small it is. Hey Elmer, come here buddy. You stay right there. Thank you, sir. All right. Yeah, fern. Just one in that rock. You know, from taking people into the mountains, I've heard a lot of people say it's scary to go out in the mountains because you don't know where you're going and they don't know how to read a map or anything. Of course, things take time. But, you know, we can look here. Let me show you. So we're walking along this old Mac trail. They're probably around here somewhere. And then you want to orient it correctly because we're working in this direction. So it actually faces this direction because we're walking forward, see? And then we're going up to a lookout tower. See the lookout tower? And look to the right and look at that big mountain up there. That must be where the lookout tower is. See? It's not so scary. Millipede. Cool, huh? Beautiful white trillium, huh? Look, and here's a yellow trillium. Much different. The petals are connected. The flower is straight up. These beautiful leaves. It's a mayapple. It's a little beetle we found. I believe this is on our bingo card, flying insect. Hey Elmer. Come here, buddy. Let's grab him a drink of water. He's coming over. Yep, there it is. Flying insect. Great. Hey kids! Up on top of the lookout tower now. You can see all these farmland around here and these little valleys, some reservoirs over here. You can see the view in a second. But what a great view. The Smoky Mountains are all the way out in the distance. Hey, what an adventure. Yeah, look at this view, huh? Our farming communities down here. Rolling ridge lines. The Smoky Mountains out in the distance. If I am not mistaken, that might be Mount LeConte over there. All the way out there in the distance. Absolutely beautiful. Fun adventure, huh? Here's our live tree for bingo. Now that we're up at the tower, we can see this flowering crab apple. What beautiful blooms it has. I hear a woodpecker out there. Cool. Wow, this has been a great adventure. Well, there's the live tree, the crab apple. Great. We'll need one more in there for bingo. Butterfly. Hey, you kids saw that Elmer had my bingo card in here, but he has a couple other things in his pack too. What do you think they are? Take a guess and I'll tell you next week what he had in there. Right, buddy? And here we are at Panther Gap Rock House. You see the stream and stuff is coming over this rock, and there's a big overhang here. There's a camping spot there, some tables for you to prepare food. Imagine over the summer how refreshing this would be to come underneath here with all this water dripping off. Found a very impressive pile of dirt here. There's a tree behind it, so as it pulled up that shallow root structure, it pulled a lot of dirt and rocks with it. Ooh, pile of dirt. That's bingo, kids. Ha! Okay, thanks for joining me for another great adventure here with Hikes with Erik at Frozen Head State Park. See you next week. Bye-bye.